Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new video. So today's video is super exciting. I am going to be talking about flankers. This is literally the battle of the flankers. I am going to go through a ton of different flankers that I have right in front of me, and I'm going to chat about if they're worth even getting the flanker versus the original, if there's a difference, and all of that good stuff. As always, all of the products will be listed down below in the description box, so shop there, and I do make a little commission, so thank you so much for doing that. And if you're new, please subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be having videos all month long, sometimes 2 videos a day, and you don't want to miss it. So subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like and leave a comment down below. I would love to know, what is your favorite fragrance and its flanker? Comment down below and let me know what you're loving, what you want to see throughout the month of December, and let's go ahead and jump into it. By the way, guys, I am loving this top right here. I just got it in the mail recently. It's from Reformation, and I love the feel of it. It feels so good, and I haven't worn like an off-the-shoulder top in what feels like forever, and I'm a little bit self-conscious, feeling like my neck's looking a little bit big or something, but we're gonna rock with it. Let's talk about these fragrances real quick, okay? So flankers, I feel like 2023 and even 2022 has been the year of flankers. Every time I look around, there is a new flanker popping up. Is it worth the flanker, or should we give it a rest? I'm not going to talk about certain fragrances that come out with flankers every year because I would be here all day long. So I'm going to talk about the ones that I have in my collection that I think are worth talking about. And a ton of these are designer fragrances. Like, designer fragrances do flankers generally. I don't see a ton of it happening in the niche world that often, but with the designer brands, when one fragrance hits off, you know there's going to be a bunch of flankers coming out. So let's start off with one fragrance that has become so popular. It was really viral on TikTok especially, and it still is viral till this day. A lot of people love this scent, and that is Valentino Donna Born in Roma, the original one right here. I do have a full size of this in my collection, and I'll be honest, I don't really wear it that often, but sometimes I do. I'll pull her out. So I get why people love this fragrance so much. It is a crowd pleasing scent. You know, that fruity floral sort of DNA, sweet, uplifting. Especially in the opening, it's very bright and zesty, and it kind of like awakens your entire body, and then it dries down to this beautiful sweetness. It's a little bit of a white, clean, musky vibe also, and then you get a lot of floral and fruity notes in this fragrance. So I like it. I don't think there's anything super special about it. And then they came out with the intense version right over here. Well, mind you, there are other flankers for this fragrance over here, but this was the latest launch in terms of its flanker. This is the intense version. The bottles, as you guys can see, are quite different in the tone of them, which I really, really love. And I'm happy to report that I really enjoy this one. I really, really enjoy this one. This is a lot deeper. It's more sensual. It's a little more grown. The atomizer is very aggressive. Look at this. Like, you get a big burst of that. As soon as you spray this fragrance, it doesn't have that zesty, bright opening that kind of awakens your senses. This has more of a creaminess. It's vanilla right on the opening. That is what I get. I get this almost like cashmere on vibe, vanillic vibe, sweet, sweet tone that's like more on the creamy side. And it's just a luscious fragrance. Really, really luscious, very enveloping, kind of like that intoxicating DNA. Great for an evening wear. This does scream a little bit more of sexy vibes, so I like it for evening. I think it's quite different from the original one in terms of even the dry down. The dry down on this one still stays quite fresh and bright, while this one goes into more of a deeper, creamy, vanilla type of dry down, and I'm all here for vanilla. I love vanilla. I think it's beautiful. There's not a lot of complexity to both. I'll be very honest with you guys, but they are well loved, and for me, I enjoy the flankers over the original one. Like, I love the intense version, but I also love Valentino Donna Born in Roma Yellow Dreams. That's my go-to for the summertime. I wear it so often and it's absolutely beautiful. It kind of reminds me of Aventus for Her from Creed. Not the same, but it gives you that same vibe, you know what I mean? And this one I love too. The original one is just a meh for me. I don't wear it that often. So if you were thinking of getting the intense version and you already have the original, I would say go for it, because this one definitely smells different. It's more creamy, it's more vanillic. So if you like that kind of vibe, all in all, the Battle of the Flankers, for me, the winner is ding, 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 the intense version. Next up, we have Burberry Her. This fragrance a couple of years back was super popular. I want to say even 3-4 years ago, people were talking about this fragrance because it was supposed to be a dupe for Baccarat Rouge. And so it was well loved and everyone wanted it in their collection. This is a really beautiful fragrance. And it is created by Mr. Francis Kirk de Jean. He created this fragrance. So I can definitely see why there are similarities to his popular fragrance and this one. You kind of get that in the opening. You get that kind of like salty vibe from the original Baccarat Rouge. Some people get cotton candy. I get this like salty skin vibes. I don't know why. It is on the sweeter side, but that's what I get. This one dries down, really pleasant. It's light, it's airy, it's kind of sweet also and floral, and it's perfect for a signature scent. This is the type of fragrance that you do not have to think about. It just smells good. It smells very, very feminine to me and quite casual, but at the same time, in the dry down, you can definitely dress this up for a night out for sure. Even you're going out for dinner, this is a fragrance that you can definitely pull off. It's one of those fragrances that it's like all occasion, all year round. This is a go-to. You don't really need to think about it. I haven't worn it in such a long time. And now that I'm smelling it, I'm like, wow, I really, really like it. I get a ton of like fruity notes in the dry down. I don't know if there's like raspberry in here or something, but I'm getting sort of this like very juicy, fruity tone, kind of like watery, fruity tone, and it smells really pleasant. Now, the latest flanker to this one is one that actually went popular too, and that is Her Elixir. So here are the differences in the bottles. As you guys can see, Her Elixir is a pretty pink bottle, all opaque, while this one has this beautiful kind of brown tone and totally transparent. This one, oh, I like it. I like it a lot. And I think that they are actually very different from one another. Like these could be totally separate fragrances. So if you're thinking, I already have this one, do I need this one? You can have them both in your collection because they are very, very different. This fragrance over here pulls very creamy, very sweet, and fruity. Okay, you get a hit of this like whipped cream with strawberries. So feminine. It's a little sensual too, but very playful. Like you're a girly girl. You love to chat. You love to make friends. You love to laugh out loud. It's very feminine, playful, down to earth, definitely a creamy texture. Like I get like whipped cream in here. I get strawberries right off the bat. And even in the dry down, you get this strawberry vibe. This is definitely a gourmand scent in the fruity aspect of it. And you get that vanilla in here. It's gorgeous. It's a little lactonic in the dry down, so if you don't like that vibe, you won't like it. If you don't like a milky type of situation, think of like a strawberry milkshake, you're not going to enjoy this fragrance at all. So I'm trying to describe it as much as I can so you guys can totally get the vibe of this one. If you want something a little bit more elegant and traditional, I would say go with the original, but this one is definitely for the gourmand girlies that love a true gourmand and more of a fruity gourmand type of scent. It smells so delicious. Honestly, out of the two, I think this is a tie because they're both really beautiful, very wearable to me. They're just totally different genres, and I think they both have their spark in themselves, and I love them both. So for me, Burberry Her and Burberry Her Elixir are a tie. Next fragrance is another one that is so popular. I really pulled out all my popular fragrances and their flankers, and we are talking about YSL Libre. This one got so much hype, especially here on YouTube, and for all the right reasons. This fragrance was like a shocker in the designer realm. It came out and it really set the tone for creating something a little bit more unique, more edgy and fashionable and youthful, and that is exactly what YSL did. I think they did such an incredible job. Since then, there have been a lot of flankers that have come out, but I am just talking about the intense version. I have not tried the new platinum version, to be quite honest with you guys, so let me know in the comments section if you've tried it and what do you think in terms of that flanker. But here are the bottles together, completely identical. Of course, the juice is different. This is the intense version because it has a heavy dose of vanilla. You can see that juice is beautifully browned, while this one is just like a light champagne tone. I think that they are beautiful fragrances. Let's talk about the original one. I think that this is so loved and so popular because it's different. It almost leans a little unisex. It's the lavender in here that screams. It's a bright, fresh lavender. It's not like a powdery, soft, comforting lavender. It shouts at you. And with the vanilla in here and the beautiful floral tones with that lavender, it just created something magical. And I think this fragrance is very modern. If you are that modern girl, this is the fragrance for you. It's giving a little bit clean girl aesthetics, but at the same time, it also smells like a fashionista. I love it. I think it's beautiful. It lasts really well. The quality is really good. And this bottle, she's beautiful. Now, the intense version is going down the road of crowd-pleasing scents. I'm not gonna lie. This is definitely for the girlies that love a little bit more of that traditional scent that you smell all over Sephora and designer fragrances. It has a beautiful dose of vanilla. Creamy white florals is what I get from this one. And I do get a hit of lavender, but it's very mild. It's like more of the comforting lavender. Well, this one is a lavender that's more like, it's loud, it's more sharp. This one is more mild and kind of gives you a hug. It is beautiful. It's definitely a lot sweeter also and leans more feminine. So both of these are equally gorgeous, but if I had to rate them on in terms of uniqueness, I would say the Battle of the Flankers is gonna go to the original one. I think that this stands out way more when I put it up against all of my other designer fragrances, while this one kind of just blends in there, and there's no problem with that. But if you're looking for something a little bit more unique that stands out, that definitely shouts in a room, I would do the original one. You can have them both because they are quite different, but yeah, those are my thoughts. This is Prada Paradox. This fragrance is so beautiful. It's one of those scent profiles that is literally mood uplifting. I want to smile on my face. I want to feel happy. I'm going to wear Prada Paradox. And you guys can see the dent that I have on my bottle. I wore this quite a bit. It's just one of those like beautiful fragrances. There's nothing super special about this scent, but I love it. There's something in it that makes me feel happy and just gives me the best mood ever. And so I wear it quite often. This is definitely more of a spring summer kind of fragrance to me. Oh, she's bright, she's fresh, airy, floral, all of the beautiful florals that I want in my fragrance. A little vanilla in the dry down, slightly musky in the dry down too. You don't have to think about it too much. It just smells good. It just smells good. And it definitely has this like citrusy tone in the background that I get throughout the entire wear, but it's very mild and it just blends beautifully with all of the other fragrances. And this scent really lasts well on me. I definitely overspray her, I'm not gonna lie. And then recently I went ahead and got Intense. And let's go ahead and take a look at the bottle differences. As you guys can see, there's not much difference in the bottles, just the juice is totally different. This is a very much more intense pink tone. tone, while this one is a very light, faint pink tone. I love the bottle. I think that they are so beautiful. And even though they have this different shape, you can still lay it down on your vanity and it stays put. So I think it's just, it's stunning. It's an eye catcher. The Intense version. Let's go ahead and talk about her. So I'm not really talking about notes because I haven't looked at notes. I just wanted to tell you when I smell them, the differences that I get in terms of the vibe and maybe a little bit of the scent. So when you open this one up, it's not as bright and mood uplifting as the original one. Kind of similar to what I was talking about with what? YSL Libre. This has more of a deeper tone. It's done perfectly in a way where this is a true flanker. You get the original DNA of Prada Paradox, but in a more deeper, darker tone. The vanilla is amplified. Okay, the musk is amplified. It's all amplified, and so it makes it a little bit more luscious and almost dark and perfect for evening and fall and winter. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And that's what I love about it. And this one screams louder on my skin. So they did a flanker in the most perfect way. They didn't completely change the fragrance. They gave you Prada Paradox, but in an intense version. That was the intention. They accomplished it, in my opinion. And I think that both of them are beautiful, but this just has more of a fresh, airy vibe, which is perfect for those warmer days and daytime. And this one has more of a darker vibe, which is perfect for winter, okay, and evening wear. So you can have them both. They do smell slightly, similar, really similar, but the tone of them are so different that they make them unique on their own. So when it comes to the battle of the flanker, I'm going to say this is an easy match. Okay. This is a match made in heaven. I don't have a favorite. I love them both. And I think that they are equally stunning. If you like something less fresh and more darker, go with the Intense. If you want something with that brightness, that citrusy tone, I would go with the original. So those are the main differences, but when I'm battling them out, I think they are equally stunning, and I love that I have them both in my collection. Next up, we have another fragrance. Again, I'm going to say this with every single fragrance. Popular, popular, popular. Super loved, especially over on TikTok. And I am talking about Givenchy L'Interdit. These fragrances are extremely viral. The original went viral on YouTube, in my opinion, while Rouge really went viral on TikTok. They are both absolutely beautiful, but let's quickly talk about the differences. So here is the packaging. Obviously, the size is different because I have a bigger bottle of the Rouge and a smaller bottle of the original, but totally different vibes. You can look at it and you can see this is sexy, sensual, and this is grown and elegant and just sophisticated, and that is exactly what you are going to get out of these two. They definitely have a different vibe. Even the scent profile is a little bit different. Now, they're both on that white floral tip. Like, they smell like white floral fragrances for sure. The original one smells a little bit more on the mature side, in my opinion. I love a good white floral fragrance. Oh my God, there's something about it that just like takes my breath away. It just smells so ladylike and sophisticated. And this one definitely has that vibe. It has a grown woman vibe. When I think of like Beyonce, you know how she's sexy and grown? I feel like she would wear something like this, okay? Even though she already has her fragrance, but it kind of falls into this category. It's still a little sexy, but it's almost like professional at the same time. Very well put together. You definitely get creaminess from the white florals. I get vanilla. I get jasmine in here. Oh, it's like fresh, but a little deep at the same time, and has that almost vintagey vibe from this fragrance. Now, this is Rouge, and there are other flankers from this fragrance, like the Intense version, which I really, really like, but I wanted to talk about the most popular one, which is Rouge. This is a little different. It's a little bit more modern. Yeah, it's a little bit more modern. It's definitely more creamy. Like, they really amped up the white florals in this fragrance. I don't know if there's sandalwood in here, but I get a creamy sandalwood vibe in this fragrance in the dry down. A lot of vanilla, but overall it is the floral notes that are blended in a way that it creates the texture of creaminess. Like, it's luscious. This fragrance is very luscious and kind of has that intoxicating vibe to it. It's a little bit more modern, so a ton of different age groups can appreciate this fragrance for sure. And it's great for an evening wear, especially when it's a little cool outside. This just comes to life. It like warms up on the skin and it smells absolutely delicious, okay? The creaminess from this fragrance makes it smell delicious, like almost edible, even though this is not like a gourmand, but it smells really delicious. Oh, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's less sharp than the original one. And again, the texture is a little different and it has a youthfulness to it. Very feminine. Both of them are very feminine, but this one just has a bit more of a grown woman vibe. So for me, when I battle these two out, currently, I would say the Rouge version is the winner. Now, I kind of go back and forth. I have my moments where I like this one better than this one and so forth, but right now I would definitely say that I'm gravitating towards this one, the Rouge version, just because I'm loving that lusciousness, that creaminess. And you can layer these two together, to be honest. If you were thinking, I already have this one, do I need this one? You can have them both. I do think that they have enough differences to have them both in your collection, and they are equally stunning. I know that they just came out with a newer flanker. And if you guys want me to do a review on that one, let me know. I do have it in my collection, but for today, I wanted to talk about the most popular flanker, which is Rouge. Next up, we have a fragrance that is a lot of people's hate fragrance. I don't know why this fragrance gets so much hate, but I have a special place in my heart for this scent because it was my signature scent, I want to say from the ages of like 19 to 23, and I really still like it. I haven't worn it in a really long time, I'm going to be honest, but I do adore it, and that is Angel. Why do people hate on Angel? I have no idea. So I have the original Angel right here. This is actually a newer bottle. And then I have this flanker, which is the Eau de Parfum Elixir. So this is, I think, the newest Angel. Angel definitely has a lot of flankers. Every year there is like 1 to 2 to 3 flankers that comes out. This is the latest one. And when it comes to bottle differences, I'll give you guys a bit of a close-up right there. So as you guys can see, the Elixir is almost opaque. It's a little transparent and it has this deep blue tone, while the original looks like this. So Angel, let's talk about her, okay? This is a gourmand fragrance. It's actually, okay, fun fact here, if you didn't know, this was the first gourmand fragrance to come out in the designer world, and it really rocked the fragrance industry and made every other brand think about gourmand fragrances. So it's really cool because it put gourmand fragrances on the map. This is a lot of patchouli. It's chocolatey, like cacao. It's definitely intense. This fragrance is beast mode. You never want to overspray this one. It definitely projects. And I think for some people, what they're struggling with is the patchouli note. It's heavy on that patchouli note. It adds like this earthiness to the fragrance. There's a bit of a green tone in the fragrance too. But I also get a heavy dose of chocolatey aspects to this scent that really is beautiful and quite magical. Oh, well, I haven't smelled it in a while. It is intense and it brings back so many memories. So this fragrance is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I still really like to smell it. I haven't worn it a lot out, but I definitely want to pull it out and see how it makes me feel if I wear it outside of the house. And then they came out with the elixir right over here. So I really like the bottle. I like that it's kind of like this deep tone. These fragrance bottles, you can't sit them up, you got to lay them down, which is quite annoying sometimes because they take up a lot of space. Let me spray this one and tell you guys what I think. Okay, so from what I remember, this is definitely heavier on the vanilla. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So the patchouli, I don't know if there's still patchouli in here, but I'm not really picking it up. I'm getting more of this vanillic, creamy, white floral type of deal to this fragrance. Very luscious, very enveloping. It still has like that intoxicating nature, but the patchouli and that kind of like green, earthy tone is not there. So it actually smells very different from the original. I still get hits of the original Angel, but it's still quite different. Oh yeah, I have the original right here and the elixir right here. The original dries down to a bit of a powdery dry down too, and you still get a lot of the patchouli, Oh, this one is so creamy, so luscious. It has more of a modern DNA as opposed to the original. The original, people might think it's a little bit outdated in the way that it smells, while this one is a little bit more modern. It goes with a lot of the other fragrances that are coming out right now that are vanilla based. So I'll be completely honest, as much as I love this one, it has a special place in my heart because of the memories that I had with it. This is definitely taking the cake. This is winning. This is taking the trophy home. It is a lot more wearable than the original, and it just smells a little bit more playful. And if you love vanilla, you might really enjoy this one. It's still quite unique, but it smells really, really wearable. And I think I'm gonna wear this a lot more during the winter now that it's cold here in Canada, and see how it plays off on my skin. So if you guys see it on more and more content over the month of December, you know that I am loving it. So I'm going to keep this on my vanity and I'm going to report back. But if you were thinking, I have this one, do I need this one? They're very different in the dry down for sure. In the dry down, I don't get much of the original, so you can have both. And if you would choose to select either or, I would definitely go with the flanker. Another gourmand fragrance that is a little controversial because it's either a love or a hate. I mean, I heard people say that this smells trashy. I'm confused. I'm confused with the term over this fragrance because I think that it smells absolutely beautiful. And I am talking about Karina Herrera, Good Girl. Look at this. Look at the stilettos. Yes, girl. I was so excited when I first got my fragrance from Karina Herrera, and I loved it. Okay, I loved it so much that I got a second bottle. I even gifted a bottle to my mom and my aunt because they loved it too. So I have the original and I have the flanker legere. Now, Karina Herrera, Good Girl, comes out with flankers every year, and I think multiple flankers a year sometime. So they have done a lot of different flankers. I haven't purchased any of the flankers, but I did get a smell of the newest one, the pink one. I think it's called Blush, and I think that it is really beautiful. Really beautiful. It kind of reminds me of Parfums de Marly Delina, that kind of like it's going in that direction. So I would say it is a beautiful flanker, and it smells quite different from the original one. But I'm going to talk about the ones that I have with me. So here are the two shoes, I should say, and you guys can see they're very, very similar. The only difference that you see is that Legere has a lighter tone. It's like a gradient effect. As it goes down the shoe, you have a lighter tone, while this one pretty much stays the same, that dark tone. I love the color of these bottles. I'm not a huge fan of like the whole stiletto shoe vibe, but I love it if they had it in like a very simple bottle and that same color scheme with the gold accent. Oof, that would have just like been stunning. But let's talk about the juice. So the original one, this is, again, like I said, it's more of a gourmand scent. Let me grab a little paper here. This is more of a gourmand scent. It is sexy, it's playful, it's feminine, it's provocative. I still really like this one. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know what? I'm gonna wear it as my scent of the day. Oh yeah. This is still gorgeous for date night. This is still stunning for date night. It's floral, it's gourmand, it's vanilla. It's a little woody in the dry down and slightly musky too. It's so confident. It's a fragrance that smells super attractive, and you just know you look good when you smell this one. You know you look good. It's actually quite a heavy hitter to me. I find that this is quite strong. You don't need to go super crazy with it, and it lasts really well, especially on clothes. You spray that all over and you go on a date, that scent is going to follow you everywhere. So I find the quality is pretty amazing, especially on my bottle. Again, this is my second bottle, okay? And now we have Legere. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name of that. I'm gonna spray it on the other side here. The atomizers are actually really, really nice too on these bottles. I remember loving the Legere version a lot more. This just has more of a fresh aspect. Like, it's a little bit more bright and fresher, while the original is definitely darker and like seductive. This feels like you can wear during multiple times of the year, while the original is really great for just evening wear, and especially in the colder months. This one, I feel like I can wear it during the daytime and I'll feel completely comfortable with it. If I'm going on a lunch date or something like that, or a brunch date, you can kind of pull this one off. I just wouldn't overspray it. I definitely get brighter floral tones and a little bit of this rosy note in here. And it just dries down really suave. Really, really suave. Let me smell the other side. Okay, now that I'm smelling them, I want to say that the original one is definitely giving you more sexy femme fatale vibes, while this one, it's still sexy, but it's a little bit more toned down and probably more wearable for different occasions. All in all, when I battle them out, I want to say they are a match. They are equally beautiful. I really like both of them, and I think that they are still very much loved from me and many other people, and I would still wear these during date night for sure, for sure. I'd probably layer them with something else, but I think that the DNA there is still gorgeous, sensual. If you love a floral gourmand kind of scent, definitely try these out. They are very intoxicating and very, very projecting. So the sillage, if that's important to you, the original one is definitely a hit. So guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and saw something new and cool today. This was my Battle of the Flankers video. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought, and if there are any favorites, if I'm right, if I'm wrong. We can agree to disagree in the comment section. Ain't no problem with that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already, okay? We're putting out videos every day in December, so go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Ciao!